Right now at 5, the Missouri Public Service Commission invites Liberty customers out to a town hall addressing concerns about the utility provider.
And we've got storms going on, rain showers continuing for most of the morning.
Plus, a former Missouri congressman who wanted to eliminate the IRS now gets to run it.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
And it's Friday. It certainly feels like Friday here. Friday the 13th, if you can believe it. It always is.
Friday the 13th always spooks me. I don't know why, but you know.
Hopefully it won't be too bad. How's the weather going to be for this Friday
Not
the 13th?
Not too bad, just like you were saying. So, you know, we can't complain too much. A few showers, which is a tad bit inconvenient, but I know we've driven in worse in the 4 states, so not too bad. We've got showers continuing for the rest of the morning. You can see 7th and Range Line. Still get those light shower sprinkles. They do taper off a bit by mid-morning. We're going to have isolated shower chances continuing throughout the day, dropping by later this afternoon. Isolated shower chances pick back up tomorrow. So we're just dealing with a lot of these random showers, random thunderstorms all through the day and weekend today. Now you can see, taking a look, we've got some heavier showers going around in the Joplin area, up near Nevada as well, into Fort Scott. Now these are kind of rotating a little bit before they're going to pull back out. So up to Shell City, Butler, Mound City, Sheldon, now moving down a little bit further south. We've got some more isolated showers down here. Moving into the Pineville area, moving just to the east of Joplin up to Carthage, Webb City, just south of Pittsburgh as well, up to Lamar. Maybe getting some sprinkles down there all the way from Miami to Grove. So we definitely are seeing these just light showers as they continue to dissipate. We are going to see some fog developing just right behind these showers. Does cause a little bit of some dangerous driving conditions, especially with roads being slick and it's a little rainy out there. Fog develops. You might not see an animal on the road. So just watch out for that as you're starting your morning commute. Now this is about 7:30, 7:40 before it all starts to move out of the area. And again, it's following those showers as they move out. Now we're dealing with some more isolated showers and isolated thunderstorms throughout the day, but most of the day is going to be pretty cloudy, you can see. And then by later this afternoon, we're getting up to the mid to upper 70s from about 76 to 77 degrees. Not too bad. We're warming up this weekend, but those isolated rain chances continue Saturday and then into Sunday morning, where we might see some thunderstorms. Not seeing a severe threat, but we could get some more isolated flooding across the area, but I'm going to have all those details coming up.
All right, we'll see you soon, Lindsay. Thanks. Well, residents and consumers with Liberty Utilities gave testimony and speak on issues with the electric company. The meeting put on by the Missouri Public Service Commission is part of a larger investigation into Liberty's billing and customer service issues. KOAM's Anthony Saviello attended last night's meeting and has more about both the meeting and the investigation.
A full parking lot and a door that never closes as residents walk into the Missouri Southern Justice Auditorium to make their voices heard.
I just kind of found this out. 30 years to pay for that mess up at Asbury plant is insane.
The meeting put on by the Missouri Public Service Commission serves as a way for commission staff to gather evidence in a case against Liberty Utilities.
We've heard a number of people say that they are having billing issues and service issues across the spectrum for Liberty. This is the fourth in a series of in-person town halls we have conducted this week. The staff's goal is to hear from the public.
Officials from Liberty in attendance responding to comments and questions and helping customers with any ongoing issues.
So I'm just awfully curious, how did somebody enter a job 9 times and not know they did?
What happened was there was an error in one of the bills, and so that batch, we call them batch, like your jobs, and that batch got held back.
But what happens once the report that this town hall adds to is finished?
I would not predict what the commission will do, but the commission will take this report and probably use that as the basis for whatever orders it wants to issue to improve the situation for Liberty customers.
In Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
There is no set date on when the report by commission staff is to be done. However, staff members are to give an update on the report every 90 days. The city of Carterville has some information regarding the city's storm sirens. Storm Siren 1, located underneath the water tower in North Carterville, is undergoing repairs and will be temporarily out of service. The city says while Siren 2 remains fully operational, the lack of Siren 1 will reduce overall audible warning coverage. It also says it hopes to have the siren back online as quickly and safely as possible. The city will provide an update once full service is restored. Cox Health announced a plan to expand access to pediatric care in Southwest Missouri by partnering with St. Louis Children's Hospital. Now, the two will work together to bring more advanced care to children in Springfield and the surrounding region. The partnership hopes this will reduce the need for families to travel long distances for specialty care. A new pediatric hospital will be created to offer specialty care clinics, imaging, lab services, and more. The healthcare providers say they hope this will enhance local access to more highly specialized medical and surgical care.
Roughly a third of our patients, our kids, today have to travel outside of this area to receive care. We know there's almost another 20% of kids that don't travel because they can't afford to. So we know that mass of that population now will have their home of care right here in the Ozarks.
Construction for this new outpatient center is underway at the Cox South Hospital. It's to be done and open by 2027. Former U.S. Representative Billy Long of Southwest Missouri will lead the Internal Revenue Service. The U.S. Senate yesterday confirmed Long on a 53-44 vote, despite Democrats' concerns about the Republicans' past work for a firm that pitched a fraud-ridden pandemic-era tax break. Now, while in Congress, where he served from 2011 to 2023, Long sponsored legislation to get rid of the IRS. Long has no background in tax administration. Before his election to Congress, Long was an auctioneer. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. President Trump's National Guard deployment battle escalates as courts clash and tensions rise in the Senate. And rain chances continue. We'll have what to expect with Lindsay Gaffney in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, the legal battle over President Trump's deployment of the National Guard to Los Angeles is heating up. Now, overnight, a federal judge sided with California, ordering the Trump administration to return control of the National Guard to Governor Gavin Newsom. Then an appeals court halted that decision, allowing the Guard to stay in place. This as the fallout continues after a Democratic senator was physically removed while trying to question the Secretary of Homeland Security yesterday. Jared Hill has more from New York.
In a late-night decision, an appeals court ruled 4,000 National Guard troops can stay on the streets of Los Angeles under President Donald Trump's control for now. The decision quickly reversing a federal judge's order to pull back the troops and hand control back to California's governor.
He is not a monarch. He is not a king.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla.
Hours earlier, a chaotic scene.
On your back.
Democratic California Senator Alex Padilla, in plain clothes, was forcibly removed from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's press conference.
If this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks, to day laborers.
On X, Noem accused Padilla of creating a scene, adding that she and the senator later briefly met and exchanged numbers.
His approach, was something that I don't think was appropriate at all. But the conversation was great.
All of it a response to the anti-ICE protests sparked by immigration raids in LA, the movement spreading across the nation. Last night in Newark, New Jersey, demonstrations outside an immigration detention center alleging poor conditions.
They're not getting good food, it's really dirty, and they don't always have access to visitation.
Amid the crackdown, yesterday President Trump signaled he may make an exception on immigration enforcement for farm workers. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Now, all this is going on as a day of protest is expected tomorrow throughout the nation. President Trump is also planning a military parade in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. He has said that any protesters there will be met with, quote, very big force. Well, still to come, a new study finds that dementia caregivers face higher personal health risks. And Lindsay returns with another look at your Friday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, a flashy Lamborghini rented for a wedding became the property of police after a rider was caught on camera firing a gun out the passenger side window. Now, the police chief took to social media to hammer home the lesson at hand. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
The party was over pretty quickly for some wedding celebrants police say were caught on camera firing a gun from a rented Lamborghini on a busy Michigan roadway. The chief of the Dearborn Police, who impounded the flashy supercar, took to social media to show the video and deliver a message.
If you rent cars and you drive recklessly anytime in the city, wedding or not, your car will be in the same spot.
Dearborn PD says an anonymous tip led to an arrest of a person for reckless discharge of a firearm and the seizure of the rented supercar, with which the chief was none too impressed.
This Lamborghini's booty anyways.
And to show they were serious about their reckless rentals warning, a couple of days later, the department shared video of yet another supercar getting impounded, this time a shiny Corvette they say had been rented for another wedding, before the driver was caught weaving through traffic and speeding.
Every time we come across one of these, when we're driving recklessly, another rental, it's going to end up in our impound with a lot of tickets.
Speaking of reckless roadway rabble-rousing, how much wood could a suspect chuck if a suspect could chuck wood from a truck? Well, sheriff's deputies in Ohio found out firsthand when a man began throwing wooden boards from the back of a pickup truck during a high-speed chase. The truck had fled from a traffic stop, and officials say the occupants were believed to be connected to recent thefts in the area. Stop sticks were used to shred the truck's tires, but the vehicle continued down the interstate and eventually went into oncoming lanes, causing a multi-car accident. Thankfully, no serious injuries were reported, and the suspects were soon apprehended after a short foot chase. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Very dangerous situation there. Glad that no one got hurt. Let's head over now to Lindsay for a quick look at the forecast.
Well, we've got rain showers you can see just south of Pittsburgh, out near Weir, Kansas, up north of Columbus. Out in Carthage, get some heavy rain all the way up to Jasper, Lamar, and Nevada. Now we've got more showers that are sticking around. Those are going to continue for the next couple of hours before clearing out by mid-morning. I'm going to have all those details coming up. Well, we do have one flood watch still going on up north of Nevada along the Osage River until late Sunday night. We are expecting the chance for a couple more flood risks throughout the weekend. As you can see, we've had some rain showers this morning. No lightning, so no thunder, just some light rain, which has been a nice change of pace from all of the severe weather we've been seeing last week and into last weekend. Now, zooming in, we've got some rain showers that are moving out towards the Monette Mount Vernon area. Up in Carthage, you can see some heavy rain showers as well. Joplin might be getting a few sprinkles still out to the east of Miami, Grove, and Jay. Moving up a little bit further north, all the way up to Lamar, Nevada, even up to Butler, Mound City, just to the east of Fort Scott, Girard, and south of Pittsburgh, getting a few more of those showers. Now, those are starting to push out of our area. We're not expecting a huge threat for any type of heavy rain or thunderstorms for the rest of the day. You can see downtown Pittsburgh right now a little wet on the roads, and we could see some fog developing, so you want to be careful on your morning commute. Just dangerous driving conditions with fog and wet, slick roads. Now, out in the Joplin area, 7th and Rangeline, you can see some sprinkles still going on. You can see rain on the camera. Now, again, not heavy rain, but it is going to be a bit inconvenient as you make your way out the door. Temperatures are in the upper 60s, so it's not too cold. We're getting up to the mid 70s today. You can see for most of the morning, we're going to be pretty cloudy. You could get those mist, little sprinkles, and light showers throughout the morning hours. But for the most part, we're going to be cloudy, with temperatures getting up to the low 70s by noon, mid 70s for the high. Now, as we start to get back into the evening hours, clouds will clear, temperatures drop, but you can see we got up to about 77 degrees, maybe even pushing up to 78 today. Once all those rain showers clear out, it's going to be easier to warm up for the day. Now, by 9:30, again, still seeing a couple of these isolated showers, and again, a little bit of mist to some sprinkles. That all pushes out of the area by mid-afternoon. Most of these showers are out on our eastern, southeastern border. The rest of us are dealing with overcast skies, so we're going to be seeing that for the most of the afternoon until everything clears out overnight. We get more clouds and rain showers moving in later on as we head into Saturday morning. So this is about 4:30. You can see these isolated showers pushing in from the southwest. Now, not looking at a big severe threat there, just getting some potential thunderstorms. They'll push in mainly along I-44 and south. You can see how that one storm might be our strongest storm of this whole system, right along I-49 and I-44. Those will continue, again, intermittently throughout the day. We're now looking at mid-morning Saturday to early afternoon. We got some heavy rain showers pushing in from Parsons to Columbus, Oswego, just south of the Pittsburgh area, heading into Joplin, and a few more sprinkles throughout the rest of the day on Saturday. But most of us are going to be dealing with partly cloudy skies. Now, as we get into Sunday, late Saturday night into Sunday morning, that's where we're going to see our heaviest chance of rain. We get a little bit of a bowing echo there, which could bring some damaging wind gusts, 50, 55 miles per hour. Again, not looking at a severe threat. We're more into those summer months, so we're really not seeing any severe weather as much anymore. But this could be some strong storms. This is going to be overnight Saturday into Sunday morning. This is 1 a.m. That'll continue to push in, break apart as it moves in, but leaving us with a bit of a rain threat, flooding threat. As you can see, again, not looking at a severe threat. Could get some isolated, stronger storms, but really our main threat for the weekend is just going to be the heavy amounts of rain that we see all weekend long. 1/10 of an inch all the way up to nearly 2 inches of rain, and that's Saturday and Sunday. We are warming up though, so we get the chance to get some evaporation, get some all these rain puddles out of our area. You can see upper 80s by the weekend and into the 90s next week. This is going to be our first chance to see real temperatures in the low 90s all week long. We're really starting to see those tastes of summertime. Now, that's a look at your forecast. Let's go over to Elise with Health Watch.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, a new analysis finds dementia caregivers are more likely to report risk factors that increase their own risk for dementia. Researchers at the University of Minnesota and the Alzheimer's Association say those risk factors include smoking, hypertension, poor sleep, diabetes, and obesity. Almost 60% of caregivers report at least one of the risk factors, and almost 25% multiple risk factors. Caregivers under the age of 45 are especially vulnerable, according to the study. A new research from UCLA shows hospitalized patients with COVID-linked acute kidney injury are less likely to need dialysis and are more likely to survive after discharge if they were vaccinated. Acute kidney injury is common for COVID-19 patients, with rates topping almost 50%. The study finds unvaccinated patients with the syndrome had a 5-time higher risk of dying in the hospital. And there may be a link between exposure to synthetic compounds known as forever chemicals before birth and higher blood pressure during teenage years. The research out of the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health finds the link is strongest for boys and Black children. People are most commonly exposed to the chemicals, which build up over time through drinking water and food, personal care, and household products. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, kids got to learn the ins and outs of the healthcare industry thanks to Pitt State.
And we have rain showers continuing for the morning. I'll have those details coming up.
Plus, an American Legion post in Joplin prepares a flag retirement ceremony to mark Flag Day.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
And it's June 13th, Friday the 13th. Add that. We've been talking about that a little bit this morning.
Spooky start.
I know. It's kind of like in the springish summer, so it might not feel like as spooky as if it were to be in the fall, but still, nonetheless.
You make a good point. However, we do have some fog that could develop a little bit later. could add to the spooky effects of the day. We're going to deal with mostly just these light rain showers throughout the morning hours. As you head out the door, you can see 7th and Range Line. We've got those rain showers still sticking around in the Joplin area. Pretty light, and they are going to continue to be intermittent throughout the day. So they start to die down right after 7 a.m., 8 to 9, which is perfect. Perfect time to get out the door. You got to get to work. But then they spike again by early afternoon and then start to taper off again by the evening. So we're going through these random showers throughout the day. Now let's zoom in and see what we've got going on. Out in the Joplin area, you can see we've had those showers, but up to the north, just out more on the Missouri side, you can see all the way from Sheldon, Nevada, up to Butler, Shell City, just to the east of Mound City, Fort Scott, Girard. Now pushing a little bit further south. Like I said, we've got some heavy rain out in the Carthage area. Joplin dealing with maybe some sprinkles. Could get a few more of these showers pushing in as well. And then just south of Pittsburgh into Weir and into Columbus, Kansas, as well as south of Parsons and to the west of Oswego. So we're getting a few random showers. Those are going to stick around. Like I said, as these showers push out, we could see fog developing behind it because temperatures are pretty warm, upper 60s, low 70s through the mid-morning hours. So we are going to see some fog potentially developing along with slick roads. It could just cause some dangerous driving conditions. You might not see an animal pop up on the road, but it all clears out pretty quickly. And then we're left with mostly cloudy skies for the day. Again, still some hit and miss showers throughout the afternoon hours. And then it all starts to clear out by overnight hours tonight. Now getting into the weekend, temperatures spike again. Upper 80s now, but we are still seeing isolated rain chances on Saturday. A bit warmer, but thunderstorms through Sunday morning. So we've still got rain chances to go for the weekend, but I'm going to have a full forecast coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, as we head into Father's Day weekend, a father from Fulton, Kansas is in the fight of his life. 41-year-old Joe Erie, a husband and dad of two, is battling a rare and aggressive form of testicular cancer. Doctors say time is running out, and Joe says he's one of the rare 2% of patients who don't respond to standard treatment. Now, with limited options left, Joe is turning to the community for help, hoping to fund what could be his last chance at survival.
He became completely paralyzed from the belly button down. He has a tumor on his spine, the T9 area to be exact, that had cut off the blood supply to the spinal cord.
Spiritual now than he was before. Like he could go tonight and he'd be happy.
If you want to help this family, there will be a GoFundMe link on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free, the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. The free nursing summer day camp took place yesterday at Pittsburg State University. Kids ages 7 through 11 were able to participate in several different stations where they learned about CPR, anatomy, simulation, patient care, and more. It was an opportunity for the kids to learn about the different fields of nursing and gain a few extra skills.
Just to get their interest in something they may not be aware of, or show them that there are all aspects of nursing that if they wanted to be a nurse, they could really do. Pediatrics, adults, just that there's so many different fields in nursing that they could be a part of.
Well, Pittsburg State University is holding day camps on a variety of topics throughout the summer. Well, families and friends gather at Lakeside Park in Pittsburg for a real good time with local heroes. The Pittsburg Parks and Rec hosted a free fishing event yesterday evening, bringing the community together for an evening of fun and outdoor adventure. Last night's event was a great way for residents to connect with local heroes and enjoy some quality time by the water.
We've got Lakeside Park, University Pond, Lincoln Park. There's plenty of fishing opportunities close to home here in Pittsburgh, so trying to highlight that and get people connected with the community, but then also with our heroes of the community as well.
Well, the city provides all the fishing gear and no license was needed, making it easy for everyone to join in. And mark your calendars, Pittsburgh is planning a family fun fishing night on July 17th. Well, a lot of our four-staters will display the Stars and Stripes for Flag Day on Saturday, but those flags can become faded and tattered with time. KOAM's Ty Parks talks with a local military veteran about the proper way to retire Old Glory with respect.
The United States flag flies high above the city. Retired Air Force Master Sergeant Dennis Burr tells us what it means to him.
But it's such an honor to serve that flag because to me, you stop and think about the blood and the sweat and the opportunity that these men and women gave us, dying for our country to protect that flag and to give us the freedom that we have and deserve today.
But what do we do when our flag becomes worn with age?
Every June 14th is Flag Day since 1917, and it's always a chance for us to look at our flags we have at home or on our businesses and make sure they're in the best condition for flying and the best representation of the country. A flag that's tattered or worn or faded should be disposed of, and we dispose of them in a proper way, mostly through burning. And there's a ceremony that goes along with that. There's a proper way to fold the flag, burn the flag, say some words, and the respectful part of it is take the ash and actually bury the ash into the ground.
I tell you what, one of the most moving things that I've ever done in my life is to attend the funeral of a veteran that has been killed in the military during the wartime. You see that flag draped coffin, and they bring it back, they fold it, they give it to the family. But it's an opportunity for me to reflect on what that flag means and what we as veterans gave up so that you, myself, and all Americans can have the freedom to do what we do today. And
13 stripes, 50 stars, one symbol of the Union. Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Well, if you have an old tattered flag in need of a proper retirement, the next Great American Flag Swap is coming up July 2nd at Arvist Bank in Joplin. The event, hosted by KOAM, gives people the opportunity to exchange their old American flags for brand new ones. You can head over to KOAMNewsNow.com for more information. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The House passed a recessions package which could impact the state's President Trump won the hardest. Plus, Anchor power banks are being recalled due to a fire risk. We'll have the details. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, the House has passed a recessions package that would look to claw back $9.4 billion from foreign aid and PR and CBS funding. President Donald Trump said voting for the bill would be a no-brainer, but a new Senate Democrats report said around 60% of radio and TV stations in states the president won would be gutted by the cuts. The bill now heads to the Senate. Well, nearly 1.2 million Anchor power banks have been recalled due to fire risk. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says there have been at least 19 reports of fires and explosions, with 2 reports of minor burns and 11 reports of property damage, totaling more than $60,000. The company warns that consumers should contact their local waste management services for instructions on how to throw away lithium-ion battery-powered banks. Users can also contact Anchor Innovations to get a free replacement product. The products were on the market from mid-2016 through 2022. And Barbie is stepping into AI. Mattel, the toy maker behind the popular brand and other like Hot Wheels and Fisher-Price, is partnering with OpenAI to create new AI-powered toys and games. The company says the new products will create, quote, age-appropriate play experiences with an emphasis on innovation, privacy, and safety. That's a look at Consumer Watch this morning. Let's head over to Lindsay for a quick look at your forecast.
Well, we have a look at our Father's Day weekend forecast. Temperatures are in the upper 80s We do have isolated rain and thunderstorm chances on Saturday. It's going to be a bit warmer, but Sunday morning thunderstorms start our Father's Day. But for most of the day is looking pretty good once all that rain clears out by the morning hours. So you might still be able to grill out with Dad in the afternoon, but I'm going to have a full look coming up.
After more than 5 years of dealing with a lack of rain, some states are now drought-free. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Work continues on multiple trade fronts for the Trump administration this week. Following the announcement of a framework agreement with China, the U.S. and Canada have now exchanged documents outlining potential terms of a new trade deal. That's according to CBC News in Canada. Meanwhile, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says Europe will likely be the final focus of the Trump administration as it continues global trade negotiations. Lutnick telling CNBC they're rigid and tough to deal with. Iowa's governor is vetoing a bill that would have made it more difficult to put in carbon pipelines across the state. The veto was celebrated by groups like the Iowa corn growers, but disappointed some landowners. The bill would have required companies like Summit Carbon Solutions to follow a more complex regulatory process to build pipelines. Summit Carbon Solutions is trying to build a 2,500-mile pipeline connecting 57 ethanol plants across multiple states. The latest drought monitor shows 52% of the continental U.S. is now completely free of drought or dryness. That includes Oklahoma, which is drought-free for the first time since 2019. That as torrential rain and flash flooding caused life-threatening issues in parts of Texas this week, some places counting 5 to 6 inches of rain in just 24 hours. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Let's head over now to Lindsay for a full look at your forecast.
Well, we are still dealing with a little bit more ongoing flooding along some rivers up in north of Nevada until Sunday, and that doesn't help that we've seen still just lingering chances of rain. Now you can see from earlier this morning how it started to die down, so by mid-morning we're looking pretty good. Are still seeing some rain showers out in Carthage, light sprinkles, maybe a bit of a mist in Joplin, just to the west of Oswego, getting some rain showers as well. You know, up in Lamar, Jasper, all the way up to Nevada, some isolated rain showers are sticking around, but we're looking pretty good. Now taking a look outside downtown Pittsburgh, as you can see, roads are slick and we have some overcast skies, and that is going to cause some issues for driving, especially with fog developing behind all of our rain chances. Now taking a look at the Joplin area, temperatures are in the upper 60s. It feels a little bit cooler just because we are seeing those light mists out there, but Joplin's looking pretty good too now. Again, roads are slick, so watch out for that on your morning commute. Through the rest of the morning hours, though, we're going to be dealing with overcast skies, maybe some sprinkles, a little bit of mist still sticking around, and then you can see temperatures are warming up from the 60s all the way up into the low 70s by 11 a.m., getting into the mid to upper 70s by later on this afternoon. 7 p.m. we're in about 77 degrees, starting to drop down from there, getting back down into the mid 60s for our overnight low, but clouds do start to clear out by later on this evening. However, it doesn't last long because we have more showers sticking around for the weekend. Now, taking a look, by 9:30, we're mostly dealing with, again, a little bit of mist out there, if any of that makes it to the surface, but by this point we're starting to warm up into the 70s, so it's going to see a lot more of this drier air pushing in just underneath all of these rain chances. But we are still seeing a couple of isolated showers that are sticking around, and then all clears out by 4 p.m. You can see it pushing out to our eastern, southeastern counties, and then the clouds are not far behind it. We get a little bit of a break later on this evening, but more isolated showers and thunderstorms start to push in by mid-morning on Saturday. You can see close to our area by about 4 to 4:30 in the morning. Still getting some isolated showers. Not expecting a severe threat here, but we could get some stronger storms again by mid-morning, about 8:39 a.m. You can see how the stronger storms just to the south of Joplin, out near Seneca, moving up close to I-44 and I-49. All that will clear out south of I-44. We've got another shower pushing in Parsons to Columbus, Oswego, just south of Pittsburgh, and then moving into the Joplin area by about noon to to 1 p.m. on Saturday. A couple more isolated showers sticking around later on in the afternoon and evening, but for most of us, we get partly cloudy skies for most of the day on Saturday. Now heading into Saturday night and Sunday morning, that's where we're going to see the strongest part of our storm chances. Now this is about 1 a.m. As you can see, heavy rainfall pushing in from the west. Now we got a bowing segment, which means we could see a strong outflow with this storm, so some strong wind gusts. 50, 55 miles per hour. Very low chances of this being severe, but we could get some strong storms as it pushes in again overnight. But it clears out by early morning on Sunday, so this is about 6 a.m., 7 a.m., still getting some lingering showers, but not looking at strong storms anymore. All of that's out of there for the rest of your Father's Day. We're getting partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. Now, again, not expecting a severe threat with any of these storms. Could get our strongest portion of those storms Sunday morning out in our western counties, like Kansas and Oklahoma. But the main threat that we're going to see this weekend is just the ongoing chances of flooding. 1/10 of an inch all the way up to nearly 2.5 inches of rain that we could see. Parsons, 2.5 inches of rain. So some isolated areas especially could see localized flooding chances, especially with already seeing saturated soils, high river levels. We've been dealing with that for the last couple of weeks, even the last month or so. Now, over the weekend, again, just those ongoing chances of rain could lead to more flooding risks. But temperatures are in the upper 80s this weekend, but 90s as we head into the rest of the weeks. We get a nice chance to dry out, couple of chances of random pop-up storms, but for the most part, low 90s and sunny skies for the rest of the week and into next weekend. That's Look at Your Forecast. Let's go over to Elise with sports.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, Wednesday, we told you about the 18 local athletes who receive all-state honors from the Kansas Softball Coaches Association. Across the border in Missouri, 11 more players from our local schools get named to all-state teams. Now here's a look at the Class 1 all-state team for spring of 2025. It includes 3 Liberal Bulldogs, one of them being Jordan Goodall on the first team as a pitcher. Now, she's committed to softball at Crowder next year. 2 teammates from Jasper High School, seniors Emerson Bass and Addie Atniff, each get named to the first team as well. And then back to Liberals, Sadie Meadows and Ava Garrett are each second team honorees. Both of them just completed their sophomore years. Switching gears to Class 2, all of the listed players are on the first team All-State. The state runner-up Diamond Wildcats have a couple of players make it, and one of them is Taylin Reeder as a pitcher. She'll be back for her junior year next season. Her teammate Lauren Turner makes it as an infielder. She'll be playing for Pittsburgh State next year. And Mount Vernon has 4 players make it on the first team All-State, rising junior Emily Schubert as a pitcher, and then 3 seniors from the class of 2025, catcher Ray Downing, infielder Molly Daniels, and outfielder Cheyenne Bieber. Well, some local colleges hoops news this week as well. NEO announces that Blake Mills has been elevated from interim head coach of the men's team to full-time head coach as they prepare for the 2025-26 season. Mills was announced as the program's interim leader after former head coach Jeremy Jackson left to take the same position at State Fair Community College in April. Mills was an assistant under Jackson for the past 2 seasons. Moving over to Major League Baseball, the Royals and Cardinals have each fallen into a bit of a rut. The 2 of them have combined to lose 8 out of their last 10 games and hope for a change of pace. Fresh off getting swept at home by the Blue Jays, the Cardinals are in Milwaukee taking on the Brewers, and they lose again last night. Final score 6-0. Crowder alum Jacob Mizorowski shines in his MLB debut. He gets the win on the mound for the Brewers after throwing 5 innings without allowing a hit. Over in Kansas City, things don't go any better for the Royals. They get shut out 1-0 by the Yankees and get swept not only in this 3-game set, but for the entire season series between these 2 teams. The Yankees will win all 6 games. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Well, Siberian tiger cubs at the Budapest Zoo get their first checkup. The 2-month-old cubs were briefly separated from their mom on Thursday. so doctors could give them a thorough once-over. Zoo staff administered vaccinations, implanted identification chips, determined their sex, and weighed them. Now, their births are considered a major success for the European Association of Zoos and Aquariums Tigers breeding program. The male and female cubs still don't have names. Budapest Zoo will launch an online vote for the public to choose those names. Well, this next story is a big bundle of cuteness. The zoo in Germany debuted its newest addition, an elephant calf named Kaja. Now, she's the first elephant calf to be born at the Opel Zoo in Western Germany in 57 years. Zoo visitors in Cologne were able to enjoy watching the elephants cool themselves off in the hot summer weather, including a new calf, Taro, born this past March.
And taking a look at our forecast, we've got rain chances that stick around through the weekend. Now, showers, thunderstorms stick around through morning hours, a couple more isolated showers through the afternoon today. All that clears out this evening, but we've got more isolated showers sticking around through the day on Saturday. Those linger until Sunday morning. We get a strong storm passing late Saturday night into Sunday morning, clearing out by mid-morning, so giving us a pretty nice Father's Day. Sun comes back out just in time for the celebration with Dad. Now, heading into the next week, upper 80s to low 90s every day next week, a couple random storms, but it is going to be hot and sunny for the rest of the week, all the way until next weekend. Now, that's a look at your forecast. We'll be right back.